Hey everyone, it's Kai from Cool Collectibles. It's a nice Saturday morning here in Australia, and normally I'd be enjoying scrolling through the Facebook pages and forums and so on for the collectors and just having a look at all the latest announcements and what collectors think. But if you're like me and you follow, the Hot Toys Facebook page, or you're a member of 1/6 Republic or other Facebook groups and Sideshow Freak forums and etc. on the internet, you've probably have noticed that there are an increasing number of complaints about figures, about pricing, about licenses and so on. So much so that it's really putting a dampener on the hobby for me. I'm just reading through all of these complaints. Are pretty damn pretty damn annoying if you ask me. So much so that back in February I did a bit of a rant. If you haven't read the rant, just go back to the Cool Collectibles website and just go back to the February post. And it's just about these whiny, self-entitled collectors who have pretty much complained on every single post about whether or not they think pricing is too expensive, whether or not Hot Toys or Sideshow or whoever should be wasting their time releasing particular figures, and just generally complaining and bitching about each and every single thing that they can point out. And some of it is just plain stupid, plain wrong, self-entitled. It's like people just think that the world revolves around them and what they like or dislike, and nothing else matters. And I guess, if you're in that world, that's fine, but just reading through the comments on each and every Facebook post of Hot Toys, you can just see the level of stupidity. I said that on one of my other on a comment on Anthony Budget Stark's videos, and someone said, what is my right to say that these people are stupid? Right? What am I so on a high horse or something like that? And no, I'm not. I'm just pointing out how some of these comments are just wrong, and there's nothing else that you can say or do about it, that these collectors think like this. But what I thought I'd do was just go through the latest few photos from Hot Toys, for example, and just point out some of these comments that collectors are making, and just I guess put a counter argument to those things, if you want to put it like that. So I'll I've zoomed in on my computer here, so I'll just go through and find some relevant posts that I'll respond to. Hold on. Alright, so about a week or so ago, Hot Toys announced the Star Wars 1/6 scale Death Star Gunner. Right now, Sideshow never did this figure in their 1/6 scale Star Wars line, and the previous figure was done by Hasbro. So everyone knows about Hasbro quality, especially what it was 10 to 15 years ago perhaps. I'm not quite sure when the Hasbro figure came out, but there's no doubt that the Hot Toys figure here would be a far better improvement on that. And so, for Star Wars fans, and there are a shitload of Star Wars fans out there. People, I don't know if they think I'm not a Star Wars fan, so there can't be any Star Wars fans in the world. There are a shitload of Star Wars fans in the world, and there are many collectors who are dying to have this figure. All right? I mean, the Hot Toys teased this back at SDCC in 2016, I think, along with the Death Star Trooper that has the head sculpt. And for the most part, heaps of Star Wars collectors are looking forward to it and really want it, right? Because it's something that's been missing from the Star Wars 1/6 scale line for ages. All right, so I'll just go through some comments here. Dale here, haters can go fuck themselves. This is awesome. Amen. Right? I couldn't agree more on that one, Dale. So well done for that one. Right, so let's have a look at this comment at the top here from Dave Cords. He says, Hot Toys is getting as lazy as Sideshow with the Troopers. How is this getting lazy? It's a figure that hasn't been made before. It actually comes with two separate outfits, with a ribbed look, I think from Rogue One, and the classic cloth look from the original trilogy. I guess he makes a point here that there are far more important characters to do than background characters. Sure, I totally agree that why haven't they done a Tarkin? Why haven't they done a Krennic? Why haven't they done why didn't they do Poe Dameron? Or why haven't they announced Cassian from Rogue One? Right now, Hot Toys isn't stupid. Right, there must be reasons behind why they haven't done this, and it could be I guess we're all speculating why they haven't done it, right? But if there's no way that if they made a Cassian, it would sell, right? Because he's one of the main stars of the movie. So we don't know if there's a licensing issue or if they're going to announce it later or whatever. But then to say that Hot Toys is getting lazy, the amount of effort that they've put in to make this figure and the outfit is no less than the effort that they would put into making the Snowtrooper. Or, I mean, even for Tarkin, the outfit there is pretty much just a straight army sort of general outfit. And so it's no more lazy, no more advanced than this particular figure. So I think to say that Hot Toys is getting lazy is just stupid. Right, so here's a comment from Johnny Pie. While Hot Toys pumps out Star Wars scraps like this, there are so many other characters from different movies Hot Toys can focus on. Now, I don't know if this is one major misconception from collectors, I don't know if it's new collectors or what, that Hot Toys can just make any figure that they want. Like any toy company can just go out there, make a figure, get some actor's likeness, and just start selling this figure. It doesn't work that way. Right? People need to realize that these companies have to buy a license. They need to get approval. And there was a documentary that was posted recently about, I guess, describing how a figure company in Hong Kong has to go through this whole process to get to manufacture, design this figure to release. Right, and a big part of that is licensing. Right, and I think it was in several hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a license. And so you imagine the amount of figures that they would need to make just to break even. Right? They still got their staff to pay, their licensing to pay, shipping, marketing, everything, right? And yet this guy is saying, there are so many other movies and figures that Hot Toys can make. Why are they doing these scraps? Well, they've purchased the Star Wars license, and with being Disney, it probably cost them a shitload. So they need to pump out these things to make their money back, right? So if you don't like the Star Wars figures, don't buy it. If you want a figure from another movie, why are you bombarding Hot Toys page to say, why aren't you making this? No one is bombarding Blitzway, no one is bombarding Sideshow, no one is bombarding Interbay or any other company to say, why aren't you making these figures, right? So people say, Hot Toys is not the best anymore, Blitzway is better, etc. But all they got is Ghostbusters, right? Coming up, they've done Fight Club, right? That's all they've got, but Hot Toys has the biggest number of licenses, they've got the most variety, and overall, in quality-wise, they've got the best quality as well. And so the fact that they are pumping out these, what this guy calls Star Wars scraps, is what Star Wars collectors have been asking for years. So if you're not happy with it, too bad. Right, let's have a look at this comment from Philip. When are they going to release TFA Luke? For fuck's sake, totally lazy. Right, now this is another common complaint that you see on Hot Toys page regarding, why are Hot Toys announcing pre-orders for all these figures when they haven't released existing figures, right? Now, when a toy goes out of pre-production into prototyping, etc., and a pre-order goes out, that's when it goes into manufacturing. That is a totally different thing. There are factories that Hot Toys uses in China to make these things, right? That is totally separate to the designers and prototypers that they have in, South Korea, in Japan, in Hong Kong, right? They are two separate things, and it's very much like an engineering company, right? In an engineering company, you have a whole bunch of engineers who design something, who build something, and if something goes out to manufacture, it goes out to a factory to manufacture. Any delays in manufacturing, there's nothing that those designers and prototypers can do about it, right? Their job is to work on what Hot Toys is doing next, right? And so that's why you see this regular turnaround in new figures, in new pre-orders coming up. And that's probably why that they've had to put these things out for, this figure's not going to be released for another year to cater for some of those manufacturing delays, right? So to go on here and say that Hot Toys is being lazy because they haven't released the TFA Luke yet, that's wrong, because that's a manufacturing issue, right? There's no one being lazy about that, unless you're going to go over there and complain to the factory workers to say they're not doing things fast enough. I mean, the core reason behind why those things are delayed, we don't know, right? But to say that Hot Toys is lazy and they should stop working on pre-orders and focus on manufacturing, you're not going to get a whole bunch of those designers and prototypers to go work in the factory to make things faster. It doesn't work that way. Eduardo at the top here, weak, no Hot Toys, why? Well, I just told you why, because it hasn't been made at this scale, in this quality before, and so there are Star Wars collectors out there who want this. Right, Kenny at the top here, where is my Hulkbuster? 2 years already. I mean, it's not going anywhere, mate. You've already put your money down, right? Hot Toys has committed to releasing it. They've delayed it to, I don't know, they made a delay to put in an extra feature where the figure can fit in there or something. Whether or not that's useful or not, right? It's still coming out. You want them to take their time and get that bloody thing right? It's going to be massive. It's complicated. I can't remember, someone was saying there's like several hundred different pieces to that thing, right? So whether or not it comes out this month, next month, 6 months' time, it's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. What is the rush? Alright, enough of that gunner. I mean, this latest post from Hot Toys for this upcoming Spider-Man homemade version from Spider-Man Homecoming. My God, the comments on here are even more entertaining. Alright, so we'll scroll through. I mean, overall, one of the main complaints of this one was it looks like garbage. Right? It looks like garbage and it looks like a very simple figure. I'm not quite sure why people think that this is a very simple figure. Right? So let's just have a closer look at it. Right? So you look at this design. I mean, I don't know if it's because it doesn't have a skin-tight suit like Batman versus Superman figures or something like that, where people suddenly think this, even if it is like a pair of pajamas, I mean, do people think that factory workers just shit this thing out? It's not as simple when you actually consider the figure as people think it is, right? You look at the design elements on this thing, right? You got these goggle things that apparently you can swap out. How they do that? Probably by magnets or something. And then you get this hoodie thing. So overall, the whole material here is this sort of cotton type material, which I'm not sure what other figures they've done that sort of thing on. But to get all of this tailored is a task in itself. And then you have the sculpting, you have the gauntlet thing there, then you have this shin guard thing where the pants need to go in. It also comes with the separate head sculpt. I mean, people have complained for so long that Hot Toys isn't giving us head sculpts, and then they give you a head sculpt and you're still fucking complaining. So I don't know how Hot Toys can ever win, right? And this is something that was designed by Marvel in the movie, and I'm assuming it's going to appear in the movie. It might have had like a 2-second cameo in the Civil War with him flying around on that where is it, that Stark was showing him, right? So it's not like Hot Toys just dreams these designs up, right? So overall, I don't know the complaints on. I just don't understand why people are saying it's too simple, it's garbage, and it's unnecessary, right? Because there are so many other Spider-Man fans out there that would lap this up. I mean, people were asking for this kind of figure on the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and now that they've given it for the upcoming Homecoming movie, people are still complaining. Alright, let's have a look at this comment by Dare. Sorry, this is dreadful. He's appeared as Spider-Man in the suit already. So this is utter opportunism by Hot Toys to gain more money. That's the whole fucking point of them being in existence, right? They are a toy company to make money. I won't be buying this awful looking thing. Okay, good. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. You can do that. I know initially Wes, it doesn't make it look good though. Well, Hot Toys doesn't make these designs, right? They're basing it off of a movie concept or a movie still scenes or whatever it is out of the movie, right? So the fact that they are providing this, I mean, that head sculpt, the teaser that they put out for the final version of the Stark suit, you can't swap that suit out because they haven't made a seam there. I mean, that was one of the main complaints of the original Amazing Spider-Man figure, where they did have a swap out figure, but there was the seam. Now, people didn't like the seam, and now that they've given you a fully sewed in suit, and people are saying, well, why won't they provide a head sculpt? Well, you can't swap it out, can you? So you can't have everything, and if they've provided the head sculpt for this one, what's there to complain about? Right, this comment by Richard. This will be one of those figures that 6 to 9 months after release, dealers will be trying to offload at a $100 price point. Then what are you complaining about? If that happens, which I doubt, particularly if they have the head sculpt, but if it does happen and it goes in the bargain bin, then that's great for everyone. People will get a bargain. It's a win-win situation, right? I mean, I think the Mandarin went down that path because the character from the movie was such a weak villain. I mean, the figure looked amazing, and that probably was one of the more complicated figures, and it had a great head sculpt, but it went down that path because the character was crap, the way it turned out in the movie was crap, and so there was no incentive for collectors to buy it. Right? But for this, I'm assuming Spider-Man's going to be a long-term member of this Marvel Cinematic Universe from this point on, so people are going to want all of this variety and the different costumes that he wears. Alright, this comment from Julian. Supply the onesie as an outfit to accompany the Stark suit. Just stop and think about that for a second. How does that make sense? How are you going to put that onesie on that suit and have it look remotely good? Right? I mean, if he's got the final suit on, how are you going to swap out the head sculpt? How are you going to put that vest on? How are you going to do all of those things even if it was an accessory? I mean, he says here, it's just milking it. Right? People complain there's not enough variety, and then they give you the variety and then they complain it's milking. It's only milking if for some reason they force you to buy it. No one is forcing you to buy it. So it's only milking if you're stupid enough to buy it when you don't like it, right? This comment by Graham. This is not worth buying. Why would Hot Toys put this out instead of the proper Spider-Man costume? Are you stupid? Of course they're going to put out the proper Spider-Man costume. They've teased it already, right? Now they're just putting out this variant for collectors who want this particular style, right? It's not worth buying for you perhaps, but for all the Spider-Man fans out there, I'm sure they're going to lap it up just like Star Wars fans would lap up all the troopers. They would lap up all the gunners, all the Star Wars, all the Death Star troopers, right? There will always be collectors out there who think different to you and will buy things that you don't buy. Alright, Joseph here. They have fallen off the trail. I don't know what's with them in the past 2 years. Plus with their prices going up, I think they're pricing themselves right out of the market. How does any of that make sense? Right? Hot Toys has essentially been the driver of the market and the pricing in the market, right? Everyone else is following them. They're not pricing themselves out of the market, right? There will always be collectors, particularly their main market is China, right? I don't know if people just don't realize there are a shitload of wealthy people in China who just have so much spare income that they're just lapping this sort of stuff up, right? So to think that, a $200 figure, I think this ends up being a $220 figure in US dollars, to think that they're going to price that out, particularly with a head sculpt, particularly with the hype in the upcoming movie, that's delusional. They're not pricing themselves out of the market, right? And to think that they've fallen off the trail, why? They are providing variety for all of the whatever costumes might come about in that movie, right? So they're catering for all the choices that collectors might want. If collectors don't want that particular variant, then just get the main suit. That's all you have to do. Right? This comment by Guillermo del Toro. I thought he was a director, but either way, I mean, this guy makes quite a bit of sense, right? He's saying it's a different costume, it's nice, but it's not practical to buy for him because it only appears in the first few moments of the film, and the rest of us don't have all the money to buy it and be completists, right? So he's actually got some logic to say, it looks nice, but it's not worth to buy for me, and so I'll wait until the formal release of the regular Spider-Man and buy that, right? So that shows at least he's thinking. Ryan here says, hasn't he already moved past this costume in Civil War? Yeah, true, but there's probably scenes in the new movie, either they're going to be flashbacks or whatever, where he's not wearing the new suit and he's wearing this onesie, right? So why wouldn't they put this out? And saying that they've already moved past the costume, so they're not going to go back into the past and release old costumes. I mean, you might as well say, why are they releasing Batman Returns figures? Why are they releasing, costumes from old movies? Because collectors want them. Collectors want those various styles. They want that variety. So Hot Toys is just catering for that. The fuck? Yep, that's exactly my face when I'm reading through these comments. This comment by David Hong. Hot Toys again and again. Where is your BVS Wonder Woman? We have paid for pre-order deposits more than a year ago, but still no update. I mean, follow JC Hong's bloody Facebook page for crying out loud. I mean, he just posted, maybe just a few days ago, that there was a picture of him and the figure. So it's coming. If you go to the Sideshow website, it says that it's coming out in April or May, right? So I think it's been delayed for maybe a quarter, but it's coming, right? I mean, once Hot Toys has put a figure out for pre-order, not once have they cancelled, right? Once it goes out for pre-order, they have committed to releasing it, right? So it's going through production, it's coming. The fact that it's 3 months, 6 months delayed, what's that going to do? Are you waiting at that front door of your house, waiting for that parcel to come? Is there nothing more in your life that you can do in the meantime to enjoy the hobby, to enjoy your life, other than waiting there for your Wonder Woman figure? Right, Jay here that says, this costume looks like it could be made at your local Michael's store. I don't know what Michael's store is, but I'm assuming that's some budget store in the US or something like that. But I went through before on the details of this suit. on face value, it might seem like it's very simple, but to me, it seems like there is still a lot of detail in there, to the same level as any other figure, right? So Black Widow, even a lot of the Star Wars figures, like Han Solo, for example. I mean, in comparison, his outfit's not that particularly complex or detailed, right? So to say that just because this overall design might look shit to you, doesn't mean that Hot Toys hasn't put in a lot of effort to get the movie accuracy and the little details in 1/6 scale right. I actually like this comment from Terry. How about you people wait till you watch the movie to comment whether this suit will only be shown for a few seconds or featured in more than you thought. Go blame Marvel if you don't like this look. Exactly. Hot Toys is just replicating a design presented by Marvel for the movie. Right, this comment from Varan. They have simply diverted from piece of art to piece of shit. Come on, Hot Toys, get something which is like a relic for every collector. I just cannot understand these types of comments from people who, just because you don't like it doesn't mean no one else will like it. And it doesn't mean that someone else doesn't think that this will be a piece of art. And even if it's a piece of art, it's just a bloody toy. People get so hung up about, don't call these toys. These are adult collectibles. They're, pieces of art, etc. They're toys, right? Sure, they're expensive toys, but in the end, they're just toys, right? So to say that, they've diverted from what they've done before, they're catering for people who have complained for so long about where is the variety, right? They're giving it to you, and yet you're still complaining, right? It's ridiculous. KO here. Well, this better be cheap. If it doesn't, it'll fail. It's basically just a pajama. Well, I've gone through what I think are the details of that suit. If it's just a pajama, people are saying they could just kit bash this thing, right? Someone please show me how you could kit bash a figure like this and make it look as good as Hot Toys can do, right? It'll never happen, right? You can't just dream these components up and kit bash a figure and make it look like this particular figure, right? It won't be as movie accurate, it won't look as good, and it won't have the head sculpt, right? So why would this be cheap, right? The fact that it comes with a head sculpt comes with that price point, right? This comment from a tit, stupid marketing. How is it stupid marketing? Right? They've teased a figure, now they've teased this, or they've announced this new figure as a variant. It's perfect marketing. Oh, and it's so obvious that the new Logan movie is out and the hype is strong in these collectors. There's so many comments on Logan, where the hell is my Logan? Why haven't they done Logan? If Hot Toys actually had the license, they would have done something. They would have announced or teased something before the movie even came out. The fact that they haven't even done that probably means that they don't have the license and they can't do it. So people just need to get to grips with that. Well, there's probably enough ranting for the day. I think, even on the OSR Facebook page, we had Chilen, one of the admins, post up something about showing respect in the community and respecting people's opinions and so on. I think I found it here, where I guess even in some of the early discussions yesterday on the release of the Spider-Man figure, where people were just going off at each other. And I've just contributed to that by going off at these people, which I just cannot understand their thinking, their self-entitlement, their I don't know, they're just their overall negativity in this hobby. If something makes you so angry, makes you so dislike a company, then stop buying it. Go into another hobby, right? Go friggin' bloody play some sport or something. Get out in the world instead of just, waiting at home, waiting for that parcel delivery. Dying for that figure. Why I'm complaining about why haven't I got this? Why haven't I got that? Maybe even go down the custom route. If you want to do kit bashing and you think you can do a better job than Hot Toys or Sideshow, then do it. Show it. Learn how to do it. Right? There's so many other things that people could be doing than complaining. And I guess I've complained about complainers enough with my previous rant and now this video. But I just had to. I don't know. I just had to get it off my chest because reading through these comments is just insane sometimes. So hopefully you can stick around for upcoming reviews, which will probably be a lot more positive, hopefully, unless those figures have issues. But overall, thanks for tuning in and having a listen, and just comment on your thoughts as well, and where you see this hobby is going, and what your thoughts are on all of these collectors posting their comments and so on. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.